Now, on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app, O'Connor and Company.
Good Thursday morning. It's 5:07. It is the 30th day of the government shutdown. No, not the 30th day of October. 30th day of the government shutdown. Is Schumer going for some record? Is this like Cory Booker talking in the middle of the night with no one listening just so he can get his name in a stupid record book? Maybe. It's the only other reason why Chuck Schumer might be memorable and written down in a history book. Oh, yeah, that guy. Coming up at 6:35, Junaid Khan, Republican candidate for the House of Delegates in Loudoun County. 7:35, the chairman of the RNC, Joe Gruters, on the Virginia election and the last-minute push to get out the vote. 8:05, KT McFarland on Trump's triumphant Asia trip as he is now winging his way back to the U.S. And then at 8:35, you know him, you love him, you voted for him, or you're going to vote for him. He's the Attorney General of Virginia, Jason Miyares. That's all coming up, and I'm glad I'm not alone. We got Cassie Smedile, ladies and gentlemen. It's Cassie Day. Good morning, Cassie.
Good morning, Larry. Happy Friday, Junior.
Yeah, sure. I like that. I do need to ask you about your sweater. I love sweater weather. Sweater weather is a great thing. Sweater weather is always wonderful. Mm-hmm. But some sweaters... so here's the thing. I'll just be plain and simple. That sweater is atrocious. That sweater looks like Picasso had a really bad nightmare, and then Jackson Pollock came in to clean up the mess, and it didn't go well. What has happened to your sweater there? What is that?
First of all, it's called fashion. Look it up. Second, it's rainy.
Yeah,
my child walked into my room 20 minutes before my already very early alarm went off this morning.
And spilled paint all over your white sweater.
Well, I thought, every day we're faced with a choice. I could wear a boring gray sweater, or I could wear, I don't know if you're allowed to make this reference anymore in polite society, but it's a Bill Cosby sweater. For those wondering how to describe this.
That sweater does make me feel like I'm being assaulted in some way. So sure, it is. It is a Bill Cosby sweater. Yes.
Listen, I'm going to post this on my Twitter.
This is why I'm talking about it. I'm compelling you to share a picture on your social media. It has got lots of bold, splotchy, giant swaths of color, and it is making me angry.
Oh, I think it looks like a summer sunset at the beach. It reminds me of warmer days, sunnier days.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm doing my best.
It's like this is the beginning of sweater weather. Embrace it and go with the black and the gray and the hunter greens and that whole thing. Act like you're at Vassar or something.
No one will be shocked to learn that Larry is wearing a gray blah.
I'm in sweater weather, but I'm not shocking and assaulting your senses with it. It reminds me of when people wear those sweaters that have the giant happy face on it. And it's like they're getting in your face and saying, "Smile, damn it! Be in a good mood. Be happy. Look how colorful my sweater is." It is. It's bold, and I applaud you for your courage.
No. Okay, it's great. It's happy now. You can be like, "Oh, look! It feels like we have sunshine in the studio."
So you mentioned your children. Remind me again. 5 and 3.
No, it's 3.5 and 1.5. The half is a really big deal right now
because they're doing karate and stuff. I assumed they were older, but. All right.
They forced kids to grow up so fast these days, yeah.
This time of year, I have probably the most vivid memories I have of my very early childhood are right now. Autumn in Michigan cannot be beat. You got your cider mills, you got your Michigan football, you got your Detroit football, you got, if you're lucky, maybe Detroit Tigers are still playing baseball, as you go into the playoffs, and the basketball and hockey is starting. Everything is sports, right? But also the leaves and the colors and it gets brisk and it's, getting chilly. So you start layering up. And that means Halloween is right around the corner. And that's where everything turns ugly because you work for weeks on what this Halloween costume's going to be. And you get all ready. And then you're going out to trick or treat and mom makes you put a big coat on over it because the temperature dropped below 55.
Yes.
Now,
the worst.
And here we are the day before Halloween, and I bet kids are like starting to freak out about that. Now, I say let the kid feel cold, but still be in the Halloween costume. If that you can stand by with the coat, but let the kid be the one who says, "Okay, mommy, I want to have a coat now."
Yeah, I think that's the right tact. Although I understand that as they get older, coats become a real point of friction for kids wearing coats. They won't wear them to school. So we'll see. But the one thing because my kids are so little, I still have control over the costumes. And I do try and pick costumes that can go with the weather. So
have you worked out some sort of CIA level psychological manipulation to make your kids think that they're selecting their Halloween costumes?
Right. You just limit their choices, or you sort of, give subliminal messages of ideas in the weeks leading up to it. Oh, that would be really fun. We could. Oh, so I'll just tell you, we're going to be The Incredibles. Do you know that show?
Oh, yes, the whole family.
Yes.
I did a similar thing about 20 years ago with my kids.
Did you wear the dad costume?
I was Mr. Incredible, of course I was. Yeah.
Oh, I should tell my husband, because I'm letting him get away with just wearing a T-shirt, because the dad costume, it's like fake muscles.
Yes, it's fantastic. What
so much.
What middle-aged dad of little kids doesn't want to do that?
Oh.
It was actually 15 years ago, now that I think about it, not 20.
Well, he's just wearing the T-shirt, but the kids are fully decked out. And
are you going full Elastigirl?
So that's the other thing. No, I'm doing a modified, because I did not think it was appropriate to wear thigh-high leather boots while trick-or-treating with my children, which is the Elastigirl costume.
I mean, you do live in Northern Virginia, so, I mean, this sort of thing happens regularly.
That's fair that it's just that with whatever designer legging or something. But
I've been to some of those parties. It's very awkward.
Somehow this conversation always goes into those awkward parties, Larry. I've got more questions.
So your other children are going to get decked out in the Incredibles. Although your little one, is he walking Dash?
Yeah.
I guess he is, a year and a half.
He's
walking.
walking.
So he'll be Dash.
No, his name is Jack, and so he's our Jack.
Oh, Jack. So you're not going to have a Dash.
No, Dash is missing in action. He's too fast. He's running around. But can I tell you, we are doing something really cool. This is so DC. But we get to go to the White House to trick-or-treat tonight.
Oh, that's exciting. I saw some of the decorations. Are you going to be okay? There's no East Wing. Are you going to be...
Well,
how are you going to trick-or-treat? That's where everything happens.
I can't wait to post a picture to say, this is where we used to trick-or-treat or whatever. Right. But I'll try and play into that meme. You had a really good one on that meme.
With
the Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast,
yeah,
yes.
That was great.
My wife and I dancing in the East Wing.
But
I can't. So if I were bringing my kid, I would want. I'm assuming every child is going to dress like one of those minions just to recreate that moment where Trump puts the candy bar on the head.
Yes, you remember he did it, and then because the minion costume is like a blow-up costume, and he's like, I don't know where to put it, and so he puts the bar on the head, and then Melania is like, okay, I'll do it too, and then they just slide right off.
It's the best.
I know. No, we're not going to do that, but we're looking forward to it. Hopefully the rain will hold off to make it a fun night, but kind of a cool thing to say, I got to trick or treat at the White House. So.
And by the way, it is the one night out of the year at the White House where I'd be okay with people dressing in drag because it's a joke. It's a Halloween costume. But otherwise, maybe all the drag performers should stay home. All right. Well, and you're not going to force coats on your kids.
No, I'm going to let them get colds. They've got colds anyway.
Okay.
I'm a Midwest kid.
There you go. So you're going to bring a contagion to the White House, and that's how President Trump gets sick. And this is the beginning of it. You're like the Reese's Monkeys coming off of the truck down in Mississippi.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
The pandemic begins.
Did they ever find that last monkey?
No, we have an update on that. Yeah,
we'll
let you know. All right, well, there it is. So it's blustery. It's cold. The day before Halloween, get dressed up and be careful with the sweater you wear to work this morning as you're getting ready because you do work with other people, and maybe they have a headache and they're recovering from a marathon and such. And
or maybe you just want to bring a little sunshine.
There it is. Yes. I do love the people who dress thinking I'm going to bring sunshine to other people's lives. That's you, Cassie Smedile. I'm teasing. It's a beautiful sweater. Post it on Twitter.
WMAL, making sense of the news. Live from the Home Paramount Pest Control Studios. Home Paramount, the leader in pest control since 1939.
Now, Cassie Smedile, you guys used to live on Capitol Hill, right?
Yes.
Until about 2 years ago, I want to say.
Yeah, we escaped.
Yeah, Mr. Allen drove you out of there.
When that recall failed, we were out of here.
That's it. And although things have gotten better, D.C. is still D.C. And one thing that's great about D.C., though, is everything is politically oriented. I don't know if in your new neighborhood everything is shot through the lens of politics. But it's I mentioned the Marine Corps Marathon. All of the signs that the community comes and stands on the side to try to root the runners on, they all have sort of a political lean to it. Like a lot of the signs said, "You're running better than the federal government right now," or things like that.
They thought they were so creative when they came up with that one.
I did appreciate the signs that said, "Run like you've stolen the Epstein files." That was a good one. That made me chuckle as I was trotting through and feeling my legs fall off my body. Well, now apparently Halloween decorations in the front yards of D.C. residents have also taken a bit of a political turn, and of course it's through the perspective of the left. But as a Trump-supporting Republican, I can find the humor in this. You remember the guy during the some of the early showdowns between federal law enforcement, National Guard, and woke left-wing federal government workers who claim that this is their town, even though they just moved here under Obama and they've only lived here about 7 years.
Right.
There was the Subway sandwich guy, remember?
Oh, right. Yes.
Where he assaulted a police officer by throwing his 6-inch spicy Italian at him. Yeah. That's the guy. Well, now this has become the go-to Halloween decoration where the man holding the Subway sandwich is actually a skeleton dressed in a J. Crew pink polo shirt and khaki shorts.
Oh, you're kidding. Oh, come on.
Oh, yeah, it's great. And I tell you, I look at this and I think, I wonder if that's a Republican who's mocking these people, because it could very well be. Mm-hmm. Or it's the resistance saying, even if I'm a skeleton, I'll resist Trump.
But is your sandwich throw guy, like, that's the hero of your movement?
Yeah, that's all you got.
I mean, and Democrats wonder why they're having an issue connecting with voters. Like, that's our fighter.
Listen, in the first term, the lady who was riding a bicycle giving her finger to the motorcade ended up being a council member out in Loudoun County. So, anything could happen. County supervisor, Julie Briskman. I mean, if that's your resume, this guy throwing the Subway, he could run for Congress for all we know.
I mean, do something with your 15 minutes of fame. But this is just, I'm looking at pictures of this. First of all, those skeletons are ridiculous. Where do they store them, especially in D.C.? How do you have a 15-foot skeleton
probably
in
have
front
an
of your
attic,
house?
right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
But also, it's just comical. And by the way, have you gotten a Subway sandwich recently? Not cheap. So I will say that was quite a sacrifice.
Yeah. By the way, I think we all know where the skeletons are stored. Doesn't everyone working in the federal government and in politics have some skeletons in their closet?
Oh, we're bringing them out of the closet.
I'm applauding myself on that one. That's how desperate I am.
It's a 2-for-1. You can bring your skeletons out and use them as decoration.
All right. Well, speaking of the Subway sandwich thrower, he's actually been in the news this week. Sean Dunn is his name, 37 years old, worked for the Department of Justice as a paralegal, was so upset that ICE was in the 14th Street corridor that when confronting a cop, he threw his wrapped-up Subway sandwich at him. By the way, my favorite part of that video was what happened. But the cops were like, okay, you gave us a reason. You F.A.'d. Let's F.O. It was,
that was enough.
He got manhandled.
Back in my day, you saw that all the time on 14th Street. It was just jumbo slices. But
back in my day.
The fact that this was in broad daylight and he was presumably sober. You're like, oh, things have changed.
Well, he has asked a judge now that he wants the charges dismissed. He says that this is vindictive, selective prosecution. I'd love that a Democrat woke liberal from the DOJ is standing up there saying, hey, you got murderers, you got carjackers, you're not going after them, you're letting them walk the streets free. And the judge is like, yeah, that's exactly why the cops were there in the first place, young man. Thank you very much.
Touche. You're doing our work for us. You're making the case for us.
Now, U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro tried to charge him with felony assault of an officer. That did not stick, but he is facing federal charges. It's up to U.S. District Court Judge Carl Nichols, who is a Trump appointee, to decide whether he'll dismiss the charges or not. It's set to go to trial November 3rd. We'll keep you updated. In the meantime, enjoy all the Halloween decorations in homage of the hero of the liberal left in D.C., the sandwich thrower. 5:23. It's 5:30 now, so coming up on the program, we're going to give you the latest on Trump's trip to Asia. He's on his way back, and he had a historic trip including a meeting with President of China, Xi Jinping. We'll give you everything that we know so far next.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now. Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
5:37 now on this, what'd you call it, Friday Junior, Cassie? I like that.
That's right. You hear this song? If my sweater was a song, it would be this song.
You're right. All right. I'm warming up to it. I'm warming up to the sweater. Coming up at 6:35, Junaid Khan, Republican candidate for the House of Delegates in Loudoun County, wants your vote, and we need to do something in Richmond. So listen up to him at 6:35. 7:35, Chairman of the RNC, Joe Gruters. 8:05, KT McFarland at 8:35. The Attorney General of Virginia, Jason Miyares. I think he's sitting pretty right now, but you got to keep the pressure on. Miyares is. How weird is it going to be, Cassie, if we get, because the way it's, I don't know. I'm always pessimistic. I'm optimistic on the air, but internally, I like to be delightfully surprised when Republicans win against all odds. And they are against the odds in Virginia. But it looks like Jason Miyares is really poised, considering he's running against a psychopath, to win. I can't remember when Virginia, if in fact this happens, and I hope the Republicans get a clean sweep, quite possibly we could have a split ticket there. You could have a Republican in one seat of statewide governance in Virginia and a Democrat in one of the other seats. That would be fascinating, actually.
Fascinating. And can you imagine having a Republican AG who is constantly suing the governor?
The Democrat governor.
Or the legislature for everything they're trying to do? I'm here for it.
Could very well be. That said, now's the time. I still think Winsome Sears is going to pull this out. I just get spooked in a state like Virginia, knowing the power of the Democrats in Northern Virginia and their ability. I have seen Abigail Spanberger on the verge of defeat 3 times already, and somehow she finds the votes. And I mean that literally in some cases. So we shall see what happens. Get out and vote, everybody. Meantime, President Trump has he's in the air, I think, as we speak, isn't he? Or is he landed? I think he's in the air.
I think that's right.
On Air Force One, coming back from his whirlwind trip to Asia, which included Micronesia, Japan, and South Korea. And while in South Korea, during a summit of sorts, he met with President Xi Jinping. They've released a photograph of that now. And here's a little bit of the audio, cut one here, of President Trump during the meeting.
Well, thank you very much. It's a great honor to be with a friend of mine, really for a long time now, if you think about it. The very, very distinguished and respected president of China. And we will be having some discussions. I think we've already agreed to a lot of things, and we'll agree to some more right now. But President Xi is a great leader of a great country. And I think we're going to have a fantastic relationship for a long period of time. And it's an honor to have you with us. Thank you very much.
And there was a bit of an announcement made with regard to all of the issues that have sort of been leaked out over the last couple of weeks, having to do with tariffs, fentanyl, rare earth minerals, soybeans in America. I'll give you the details on that in a second. But here, Xi Jinping also spoke while the press was assembled in the summit room. Take a listen.
Mr. President, I'm ready to continue working with you.
Hold on. I'm sorry. Just did I miss something? Is Xi Jinping doing like the transgender thing? Is there like a...
This is a jarring translation.
It's like Caitlin. Is he Caitlin Ping now? Is that what we got to do?
Well, start calling him that and see what he says, Larry. All of a sudden your phones are going to start.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm now being... Yeah, it was a translator. I apologize. That is not Xi Jinping. That is the translator speaking on behalf of Xi Jinping. He is not going full trans. Okay, good. That's good because you know how the Chinese are really good at playing ping pong. The last thing we need is a dude playing in women's ping pong pretending to be a woman. That's a good.
Wait, do you think you get to pick your translator, or do you think this is like an American joke on Xi Jinping?
That is a great question. That's Trump saying, no, pick her. I want her to speak for him. That would be awesome.
Make him sound weak.
Let's listen to that. I amuse myself. That's all that matters. Xi Jinping through a female translator.
Mr. President, I'm ready to continue working with you to build a solid foundation for China-U.S. relations and create a sound atmosphere for the development of both countries. Mr. President, you care a lot about world peace, and you are very enthusiastic about settling various regional hotspot issues. I appreciate your great contribution to the recent conclusion of the Gaza ceasefire agreement. During your visit to Malaysia, you witnessed the signing of the Joint Declaration on Peace along the Cambodia-Thailand border, to which you had provided input. China has been helping in our own way Cambodia and Thailand properly settle their border disputes, and we have also been promoting peace talks to resolve other hotspot issues. The world today is confronted with many tough problems. China and the U.S. can jointly shoulder our responsibility as major countries and work together to accomplish more great and concrete things for the good of our two countries and the whole world. I look forward to exchanging views.
All right, there we go. So on the way back on Air Force One, Trump, wanders back, talks to reporters, starts calling them names, and announced the following. The 20% tariffs on China have now been reduced to 10%. So hold your breath, buckle up, and get ready for a market reaction today. I think that is going to be pretty good news for most on Wall Street. That means the combined tariff on China, that's specifically the punishment tariff that was there for fentanyl. Combined tariff with other things now down to 47%. He said, on a scale from 0 to 10, with 10 being best, I'd say the meeting was a 12. That's what President Trump said today. He also said that they had reached a 1-year agreement on rare earth minerals. And I love that it's just 1 year. So because China has entered into these long-term agreements before, including with President Trump, and then they talk a good game for about 6 months, and then it peters out. They don't follow through, and nothing happens. So 1 year from now, they come back and say, "Okay, how'd you do?" That's, I think, a very smart thing to do. They're cutting the fentanyl-linked tariffs, as I said. He's also going to China in April for a summit there, and then Xi Jinping will come back to America after that. And China's Commerce Ministry, as they call it, said the United States is going to postpone measures that blacklisted majority-owned subsidiaries of Chinese companies. We'll see what those companies are, because the devil is in the details there. There's also an agreement on soybeans grown in America being sold back into China. So that's what we have so far on this.
Covered a lot of ground. I mean, I think you're right that this is a trust but verify, and you can. We've talked about this before. In so many instances, Trump 1.0 versus the second time around, they are so much smarter, so much wiser. But I always love that publicly Trump's like, it was the best meeting. It was the best. We had the greatest time. Right. He's the greatest guy.
It's a 12 out of 10. That's right.
But, as you laid out there, it's okay, it's only 1 year. Okay, we're going to trust good on soybeans. I'm glad they got that done. I know farmers have been really upset about that. So they got a lot of things done, but he's not treating him like his best bud when they sit down at the table. It's down to business.
A little bit more on that. I've got some more observations that I want to share with you, and we've got an expert coming at 8:05, KT McFarland. Not that I'm not an expert, but, KT McFarland at 8:05. But let's continue talking about this potential trade deal and what I anticipate you'll hear today from the Morning Joes of the world and the Jake Tappers and the liberal left in the media. They're gonna immediately begin criticizing this, naturally. I'll tell you what they're going to say and why they're lying to you coming up in a moment. First, though, it's 5:45.
Making sense of your world.
I don't know where to begin.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Thanks for taking my call.
Making sense of the news. Mark Levin, weekdays 6 till 9 on 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
I feel like I've already had a glimpse of Joe and Mika's show prep here, Cassie Smedile, and trust me, it's not a pretty thing. But here's Joe. Oh, wait a minute. I thought the goal here was to bring back all U.S. manufacturing from China, and we were going to build everything here in the United States, and it was all going to be made in America, and it was going to be great because America first. Are you telling me you didn't walk away with a deal that moved all manufacturing of every U.S. product from China? Well, this is a failure. I thought we were America first. That's what you're going to hear. And that's the closest I can get to Joe Scarborough without actually, going through a surgical procedure. That's what they'll hear because they're going to raise a bar that the president never raised. You will not see any video of Witkoff or Bessent or Rubio or Trump or Vance or any of them saying that. What they did say was that we can't be dependent on China anymore, that we cannot that we cannot be exposed the way we were during the pandemic. We have to rebuild our manufacturing base here. Oh, what, are you telling me that in 9 months you haven't done that already? It's completely disingenuous. The offshoring of American manufacturing has taken a couple of decades to do. And it's not going to happen overnight, number one, and it's also not going to be 100%. But what has been achieved with the threat and implementation of tariffs and not taking for granted this China relationship where we're just going to let them walk all over us and call all of the shots at any given time with the president just, toasting at summits and saying, thank you, may we have another. What happened was over the course of the last 9 or 10 months, you had announcements from Apple, from Walmart, from major manufacturers who had put everything into the China basket, and they're now building infrastructure here in the United States slowly, step by step, component by component, so that we can be on the road for that. It's not going to happen overnight, and this is just one more step in getting there. And anyone who suggests otherwise is lying to you, and they're being disingenuous, and it's politics, not actual policy that they're analyzing. This was a triumphant trip, and I would also say, quickly, Selena Zito pointed this out as well, the most influential moment of this entire trip having to do with our relationship with China didn't take place today in South Korea. It took place a couple of days ago in Japan. People look at Asia, and I think oftentimes from the U.S. perspective in D.C., think of Asia as a monolith. These are all individual countries with individual nationalities, with individual cultures. And I assure you that the rivalry between Japan and China goes back centuries. And those images of Trump so close, so intimate almost with the new prime minister of Japan, that's what influences China more than anything else, because the last thing they want is Japan to rise back up again to the manufacturing power they were a few decades ago.
Good point. And first of all, think about the sea change that with Biden and really Obama and probably some Republicans too, frankly, there was this idea of, well, it's too late. China, we can't make any changes in China because we're too intertwined with them. It would have too much of an impact on the American economy, as opposed to saying, wait a minute, we're the big guys here. We're the powerhouse here.
And we used to make these things. Why can't we again?
And I imagine KT McFarland will talk about this as well, but China is leveraged to the hilt. They need us. If the U.S. pulls out or, to your point, goes to another partner in Far East Asia, that's devastating for their economy that's already hanging on by a thread.
Yep.
So they have an incentive to work with President Trump, and President Trump gets that, too.
You're right. And China bullies their neighbors. They bully Vietnam. They bully Thailand. They bully Singapore. They bully Micronesia and Indonesia and the Philippines and all these other countries into thinking that that they're a military threat, and if they don't back down, then they will take over. The U.S. going there and building these trade relationships with those countries now and encouraging businesses to build there as well, that also puts the squeeze on China. China is in a weaker position now than they were before President Trump put his hand on that Bible. KT McFarland coming up at 8:05. Right now, it's 5:53.